Filicide, 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 Filicide. Why would he do this? Why would he do this shit to me? Not my baby, not my girl. Nah, not me. Ain't no way some shit like this happened to me. Not Sierra, not Rainy Day. Fuck.
It is the unconscionable crime. I mean, I know that you're sitting at home and you probably can't even really think about this, or maybe you can in a small sense, because we've heard about it so much. Filicide, a parent killing their own child. It happens so much more often than we think. According to a recent Brown University study, this occurs about 3,000 times a year.
The father charged in the beating death of his 11-month-old.
Joshua Millinson had been in the world just 13 days when he was shaken so violently by his father.
Filicide is a word I came across almost 4 months ago when I lost my daughter to it. It's the killing of one's child. It's the deliberate act of a parent killing their own child. There's maternal filicide when a mother kills their own child, and paternal filicide when a father kills their own child. I don't even know how something like this is even able to occur in the universe. How is this even an idea? Who the fuck lets their mind get to that point? It's even more messed up when they kill their children and themselves. The other parent never gets the conversation, they never get justice. You know, I read a lot. I watch documentaries, I watch TV, I look at sick shit. I like to know about everything. I wonder a lot, I like to learn. My favorite TV show is Law & Order SVU. I've been watching it since I was 8 years old. I've known about rape, murder, molestation, all that shit since I was 8. I've seen every episode. And I never would have thought that would become my reality. Like, they had me in interrogation rooms, signing death certificates. I had motherfuckers asking me if I wanted her buried or cremated. At first, I couldn't even have her cremated because I needed her father to agree and sign off on it. Unless he had something to do with it. So he got arrested and we went back and had to tell that lady that yes, he had something to do with her not being here. The funeral director also said that this is the second baby that she has had in her facility that lost their life to violence. Like, this some real life movie shit. I was reading one story and it said that this mother was charged with killing 6 of her newborns. Her reasoning was because she was addicted to drugs and that she couldn't care for them, that she was just putting them out of the misery. Like, 6, really? And there's people that can't even have kids, people that lost their kids. That shit is just terrible. He just kept having them and killing them. I don't know how she wasn't arrested before. You know, I've been spending a lot of time with myself, reading, just being trapped in my head. And I was reading and I seen that mental illness, previous abuse, and domestic violence are the highest risk factors of filicide. I feel like previous abuse is just a fucking excuse. So because you were touched on by your cousin, now you want to touch your own kids. Nah, you just a sick fuck. You know how that shit felt and you still did that to another person. Some say that those who are abuse too. That's cap. There are people that you have no idea what they went through. They never told nobody and they fine. Yes, it will make you act a certain way, but you have no right to do that to someone else. You know the difference between right and wrong. Let me start off by saying mental illness is real. I've dealt with it firsthand. That ain't nothing to play with. It's crazy what people have done. I read about a mom killing her baby by putting it in the microwave. Like, how do you even think of that? One lady cut her baby's head off with a kitchen knife, putting babies in the ovens and shit, stomping on them and shaking them. There are some people who are just straight up sick, like on some real life, uncomfortable, not wired in the head correctly. The mind is very powerful. It's capable of blowing up. Mental illness is definitely real, but there is no reason or excuse in the world for killing an innocent child. It does help explain the situation a little better though. Now, domestic violence. I was in an abusive relationship with Alexander Wattley. I was mentally, physically, and verbally abused by my ex. I couldn't do shit without his okay. He never wanted me to have my baby. Abortion was a word that came out of his mouth many times, even after she was born. There were plenty of red flags in our relationship. There was one time, he choked me to the point where I seen fucking stars. I couldn't even stand up, you know. At the time, I'm like, oh, he's just stressed, he's the only one working. We're gonna get him some help. I can't leave him, this is my family, we're gonna work on it. He loves us and he's gonna get better for us. You know, I gotta go through hell in order to get what I want. But nah, he was too far gone. I'm not gonna act like I was a saint, but I ain't do shit to that motherfucker. He had no excuse to do anything to me. He put me through so much shit, bruh, and like, I didn't do anything to him. I don't know what it was, or what was it about me, and why he just wanted shit on me. I was loyal to him. It came to the point where I cut off all of my friends, and he was literally my only friend. He would go through my messages so that made me not want to talk to anybody. If I posted a friend, he would always follow her and point something out like, ooh, she cute, she bad, she thick. He had all my passwords. He would respond to my texts. I couldn't have no friends. I couldn't do nothing. I would buy new stuff, and he would just grab it without asking. He said, whatever is mine is his, and vice versa. So whatever I had, he would just help himself to it. One time, I spent the night out of nowhere, and he told me to use his toothbrush. I didn't do that shit. I like I did, but I didn't. And, you know, I just brushed everything under the rug. You know, this is my family. And he wouldn't be like that all the time. He wouldn't treat me like that all the time. But I was definitely in an abusive relationship. I was so low. My only happiness was my girl. I don't know why he did this to me or my baby. So yes, I do believe domestic violence plays a huge role in filicide. A lot of people assume that when I say I was in an abusive relationship, it's like, oh, that's why he killed her. Nah, that night we did not argue. I did not see him murder my child. This whole situation caught me completely off guard. I don't know how he was able to do it, but that's just what he did. So, I was still talking to this dude through the jail. You know, I needed answers. And he really tried to convince me that the police were framing him. Then he had the nerve to say that I fractured her ribs by giving her CPR. He tried to make up excuses for her injuries that I know in my heart that he caused. My ex does not have a mental illness to the point where he can't operate. He was able to cheat on me and call me bitches and hoes every day perfectly fine. He's just a sick fuck. Since my daughter passed, I have joined up to 4 support groups on Facebook. There are actually some pretty great groups out there. I feel like the more people that are in a group, the more response and support you'll get. I have met people from Brazil, Australia, all over the world. There's so many people that you're going to have somebody that's going to have the same story as you. Like, it's similar in so many ways. They'll just take the words right out of your mouth. But the first group I joined was for mothers who lost a child, you know, period. That's to a miscarriage, stillbirth, and even SIDS. But I just felt like I couldn't relate to them. My daughter was physically here. I talked to her, she was alive, and being in that group, I just felt like an outcast. I felt like a fucking loser. My child was murdered. How the fuck does that happen to a person? My child was murdered, and by her own father. But you know, as I commented more, there were more people who read my story and they said, this is me. You know what, me too. My baby had these injuries too. I was in an abusive relationship too. And I was asked to join another group. It's called Parents of Murder, Suicides, and Filicide. Man, that group right there, people aren't as active. There are barely any posts. I'll get maybe 10 likes and it's like over 100 people in there. We've all lost our fucking minds. Our children were taken by their mother or father. There's barely any discussion in there, but you can still go through the post and it's crazy what you read. There are similar injuries, similar experiences, and then you feel a little better. Because before, there was no one around you that genuinely understood. Their child was murdered by their father just like you. You can ask all of your questions. How to write a victim statement, what was court like. So it's a really great group as well. They have helped me a lot. For my situation, I don't know why he did this. I can tell you hella different stories and none of them will explain why my daughter isn't here. There is no because. This shit should not have occurred at all. There is no excuse. So when something like this happens, never ask the mother, the father, the victim, because the answer still won't make sense. So this is the end of the video. So what is it? Is Alexander a mental lunatic? Or is he just a sick fuck? Long live Mahogany.